Alright, so on our first practice problem, we're going to start working inside the parentheses. We're going to start by squaring this 3. That would give us 9, so it's 4 minus 9 inside the parentheses. Everything else stays exactly the same. And then we're going to continue working inside the parentheses. 4 minus 9 is negative 5. I'm going to keep the parentheses around there. You don't really need to at this point. The only time you really need to keep it is if you still have stuff to do, like here, 4 minus 9. You still don't want to get rid of the parentheses there. Or if you have something on the outside of that being multiplied by it. If you still need to do something with the parentheses, then you need to keep it. Here you don't really need to. It just sometimes makes it look cleaner. In this example, it doesn't really. I just wanted to make the point of when you need it and when you don't. So that gives us 24, and then we will do that division. That'll give us 12. So negative 5 plus 12, and that gives us positive 7. On the second one, we see that we actually have two grouping symbols. We have this absolute value group here, and then a parentheses group here. We're going to do actually both of those at the same time because we see that we have this minus sign that's separating them. That's going to be our very last operation. We know that we're going to do everything inside of here, everything inside of there, and then subtract them. So I'm going to actually work inside of both of them at the very same time. We're going to do the 3 minus 9 in the left one because we have addition and subtraction inside of that group. So we're going to work left to right. Here we're going to do the multiplication before the subtraction. When we combine those, we get a negative 6 from this, and 2 times 4 would give us that 8. It's still a subtraction in front of there, so it's still minus 8. Here, that's a negative 6, so it's still minus. We don't do the absolute value until we do everything inside of there, so we're going to keep working inside of there. We're going to do negative 6 plus a negative 2, and we can do the 3 minus 8 at the same time. So that'll give us the absolute value of negative 8 minus negative 5. Now we want to do the absolute value. That would give us positive 8 there. Just changes that part. It's positive 8 minus negative 5. Subtracting a negative 5 is really adding, so it's going to go up. It's going to go up to a positive 13. All right, on number 3, we're going to start inside the grouping symbol. We're not going to do that exponent first. A lot of people want to do this exponent first, but we really need to do inside the grouping symbol before we do anything with that exponent. We're going to start with this division. That has to happen before the subtraction. 5 divided by 5 there would give us just 1. And we still have that minus sign out in front, so it's negative 2 minus 1. That's our next step. We're going to still work inside the parentheses. That's a negative 3. Now we're going to square that. That's a negative times a negative. That's negative 3 times negative 3. That's a positive 9. We still have this minus sign, so it's 6 minus that positive 9. 6 minus 9. I'm going to keep that in parentheses there just to make that clear. That stays as a positive number. 6 minus a positive 9. You don't need the parentheses. 6 minus 9 can be written differently, obviously. That would give us negative 3. And on our fourth practice problem, we're going to start with this exponent. We have addition, an exponent, multiplication, and subtraction. So everything else will stay exactly the same. We'll just do this exponent. That will give us a decimal. That's really 1 over 4 to the second power, or 0.0625. Again, you can hit the Y to the X button on your calculator and then negative 2 to use that exponent. Now we have addition, multiplication, and subtraction. We're going to do this multiplication next. That'll give us 2, and now we're just going to go straight from left to right because we have addition and subtraction. And it'll give us 6.2 at first, and then we subtract, and that's negative 10.5.